they have no interest in us.
You could tell me that at 12 o'clock, right, 2:45 this incident took place. At 12 o'clock in the night, an LCMS worker is knocking, right, on the pipeline. And when they knock 1, 2, 3, right, somebody's responding 1, 2, 3 back to you, right, and you leave the people to die. Unconscionable doesn't begin to describe that. That is industrial murder. That is what it is. Now, this document, well, not this document, but this picture is a picture of the operations room, the blackboard in the operations room of Paria when this incident took place. This is what Paria had on there. You'll see log of events, and this is what they had on their board. This is what was guiding Paria at the time. We have a picture of it. This is in Paria's handwriting, and this is what they had on their board. This was guiding what was going on the day that this incident took place. So that if you look at the first endorsement there, you will see at 2:15, 5 divers enter the chamber. That is the hyperbaric chamber. And if you go down if you go to the second endorsement, you will see at 2:45, diver Andrew Farrar informed the visual camera non-functional. That is when the persons on the barge lost contact with the persons in the hyperbaric chamber. Now I've highlighted this for a particular reason, right? And I want you to pay particular attention. This is Paria, and I want you to pay particular attention to the fact that this incident took place at 2:45, which is 14:45. And at 15:48, you see an arrow there pointing at 15:48. HSE personnel, S. Ramki soon, reported chances of survival are slim. So at 2:45, they lost contact with the divers in the hyperbaric chamber. And in 1 hour and 3 minutes after that, Paria, on their operations whiteboard, is saying HSE personnel S. Ramki soon reported chances of survival are slim in an hour and 3 minutes. So take your attention to the last endorsement. Colin Piper informed ICP, 1 person rescued. So at 3:48, the HSE personnel from Paria is reporting that the chances of survival, they have determined in 1 hour and 3 minutes, the chances of survival when this incident took place. In an hour and 3 minutes, they came to the conclusion, they consulted with their experts, they got information, they came to a conclusion in an hour and 3 minutes that the chances of survival are slim. But 1 hour later, 2 hours later after the incident took place, 15, 16, 17, 2 hours later, after they reported that, a man comes out of the chamber. So after the survival chances were slim, at 17:45, a man comes out of the chamber. And there's nothing that happens after that. Nothing. I know it's difficult to probably calculate that in your head. So this is this is really the conclusion spread out in terms of hours. The autopsy report, the conclusion of Dr. Daisley was death occurred 48 hours before recovery of body, give or take 12 hours. Time of the incident, 25th of February 2022, 2:45 p.m. Time of this recovery of the body of KAZIM Ali Jr., 28th of February, 6 p.m. 48 hours before the recovery of the body would be 6 p.m. on the 26th of February 2022. That is Saturday, 6 p.m. on Saturday. That is 48 hours before the body was discovered. So KAZIM Ali Jr. was inside that pipeline, according to the post-mortem report, alive from 2:45 on Friday, the 25th of February, until 48 hours before would be 6 p.m. on Saturday. Think about the time period involved. 2:45 on Friday evening to 6 p.m. on Saturday evening. Inside the pipeline, alive. Earliest time of death, give or take. Remember the report says give or take 12 hours. So let's give 12 hours. That will take you until 6 a.m. 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. And the latest time of death will be 6 a.m. on Sunday morning. Can you imagine that while this man was inside this 30-inch pipeline, alive, fighting for his life, the cutoff period, the autopsy says, give or take 12 hours, the average time that he would have been alive for would have been 26 hours after that incident took place. 27 hours after that incident took place. At a maximum, on the earliest time of death, he would have been alive in the pipeline for 15 hours and 15 minutes. And on the latest time of death, he would have been alive in the pipeline for 39 hours. 39 hours and 15 minutes. Inside of the pipeline. Alive. During that time, the security reports that were taken were that there were persons who were knocking on the line at berth 5. They went in at berth 6. At berth 5, they were knocking on the pipeline. They were not just knocking on the pipeline, they were communicating by knocking on the pipeline. So LMCS workers were knocking on the pipeline and getting responses from the people who were inside of the pipeline alive. And during that time, Paria had stopped. They came to the conclusion that they will leave them inside the pipeline, alive, to die.
Yeah, I just want to go back to when you started off your presentation with the blackboard or the whiteboard timeline, and you came to you had 1, 2, 3 points, and the third one was when Piper reported on it was written on the blackboard that BOODRAM came out of the chamber, right? And then everything shut down. The question I would like to ask is that, I don't know if you're aware or know, what rescue plan did they have when BOODRAM came out of the pipe at 5:45 or 6:45, whatever time it was, based on the first one where Ramdeeen said there was a slim chance of survival. So now you had someone surviving at 2 hours later. What, if you're aware, could you tell us what plans Paria had in place to actually try to go back in and rescue those divers?
You might have hit the nail on the head better than me, because the point about demonstrating what I put on the board, which was Paria's board, is that when they, after an hour and 3 minutes, said that the chances of survival was slim, one would have expected that logically, 2 hours after that, when you found that somebody came out of the pipeline and said they are alive inside there, that original conclusion that you came to with chances of survival are slim would have been changed, and somebody would have then taken steps to say, listen, we now know that the people are alive. If we thought the chances of survival were slim before, it is clearly not that way now, and let us do something to activate some kind of rescue. The answer to your question is simple. Paria in their own report said it was determined by Paria and supported by the Coast Guard, OSH and external experts that it was too dangerous for anyone to proceed further into the pipeline without posing significant risk of life. And that is the conclusion, and you will realize that when Paria put this out, they never said it was supported by LMCS, so that Paria never changed. The point of demonstrating that is that even after a man came out after 3 hours, they were not prepared to change their position and there were people waiting on the barge saying, we are prepared to go in. One man disobeyed. If that man didn't disobey, David, we don't know if BOODRAM would have been alive today.